If you're an attorney in the pursuit of a successful law practice, fulfilling career, and the life of your dreams, this podcast has it all. Behind the Bench gives you great tools to overcome the unique challenges you face every day as a law firm owner. Welcome to Behind the Bench podcast with your host, Josh Konigsberg, author, partner, and co-founder of Law Firm Marketing Pros and lifelong entrepreneur.
Welcome to another captivating episode of Behind the Bench podcast. This is your host, Josh Konigsberg, and as many of you know, I'm a digital marketing expert specializing in helping lawyers generate more qualified leads online and thus enhance their law firm revenues. Join us as we explore the fascinating realm of law, featuring insightful discussions, seasoned lawyers, legal experts, and industry leaders. Special thank you to our sponsor, Law Firm Marketing Pros. They get you more leads, more clients, and more profits. Our guest today is Valeria Torres. She's the Director of Operations and Business Portfolio Consultant for eight-figure firm. Valeria provides specialized methods to law entrepreneurs across the United States to streamline their operations and strengthen their business portfolios. Welcome, Valeria. Super excited to have you.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you. I'm very excited to be here today.
So I know that you have a dual degree in communications and business law and a master's degree in, let me make sure I get this right, in industrial organizational psychology. I want to hear more about that. So my degree is also in communication. So I don't know if you knew that. So we have that in common. But you're also a Kolbe certified consultant, which is really cool because we use Kolbe in our hiring process. And you're also up for the 40 under 40, and that's in New York coming up next week, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah.
So best of luck to you with that. We're going to talk about that today. Tell us a little bit more about your journey and what it means, because some of those listening might not know what Kolbe is, might not know what an industrial organizational psychologist does. So let's talk about your degrees. Let's talk about Kolbe. Let's talk about the 40 under 40.
Yeah, absolutely. So a little bit about me just from the storyline is just I've been in the legal industry for about 15 years. I've done anything from receptionist to case manager, paralegal, catastrophic claims, director of operations. And in that realm and alongside of that, I was always doing education. One of the biggest quotes that I remember my mom telling me was, anything that you dream, it's always yours. And the one thing that nobody can take away from you is education. So education was really big in our household. And because of that, like you mentioned, I have a bachelor's in communications, which is linguistics specialized, and then a business law degree. But then I continued on with more education and, like you mentioned, industrial organizational psychology. So what they do, who are they? It's a new concept. A lot of people are like, what does this mean in our new industry? What I'm doing here is bridging the gap between business and psychology. So what it's doing, it's really optimizing the full potential of individuals and making sure that you are hiring the right individuals, that you have the right leaders in the right roles, and that you're also looking at the aspects and methods that humans need, but in a business setting. So we always think of psychology as just like the therapy you go to or mentally, if you're going through crisis. But before we get to that, this aspect is more in the business setting. So what can we do to make sure that your people, who are your biggest assets, that they are your valuable piece to the organization and that they optimize every single thing from process to policies, procedures, but also how do they level up and scale your business, because your people being leveraged, that is what's going to get your business to scale. So that's that part of the educational piece. And then the last bit that you mentioned or wanted to know is the 40 under 40. So that is a business elite award that I was nominated for. Crossing my fingers, hoping that the best can happen, but at least I'm in a room full of leaders nationwide, which is an awesome opportunity. And they were just selecting leaders who have done and are transforming through the 2024 year and seeing what's going to happen. So I'll be representing both Director of Operations of eight-figure firm, but myself as an industrial organizational psychologist.
Amazing. And as the more you spoke, the more I understood how the Kolbe certification comes into play. So why don't you just talk just quickly about that?
Yeah. So Kolbe certification, forgot about that one as well. I received that one, went to Arizona and got that. that one specializes in the strengths of the instincts that an individual has. So we're all capable of doing things. The assessment does not look at weaknesses or strengths. It looks just at initially when you are problem solving, what do you normally naturally do, so that we know how to pair you up with the right lawyer and paralegal, so that we know how to pair you up between marketing lead and marketing assistant, or any single role in the organization. We want to see what your strengths are, but how you do that in a natural instinct, so that we can put you in the environment where you are going to thrive and do things the way that you would normally do them if you could be who you are every single day.
So you're not using Kolbe just for your new hires. You're actually using them for new clients, so you get the best possible match and therefore the best possible outcome for your clients.
Yeah, I'm utilizing it in every aspect. So we do it for hiring because you want to know who you're bringing on for the team. I'm utilizing it to, if you're up-leveling anyone to leadership roles, you want to also utilize that across the team so that you understand what strengths live somewhere. A lot of people will say, I want to be a leader, and they don't know what that means, or I want to go ahead and take over operations, and they don't know what it takes. And so when you look at their Kolbe, you're able to understand, will you problem solve the way that I need you to? Will you be someone that needs to be more creative, and you're more into the marketing role because you're more of what we call a quick start? You have a lot of ideas coming out. Or are you more of a fact finder, which is another set of the numbers in the Kolbe, which means that you're more research based. You're going to need all the facts. So you want to make sure you grab the right individual with the right role. And that's how you utilize it across the organization. And then the last piece that I am bringing in and utilizing it for is actually for our clients, making sure that they're connected to the right consultant, not only by style, because there is a process that we all use, but you want the style and you want the individual to communicate in a better way. If I know what you need, I'm able to speak to you in that way. If you're a bigger fact finder than I am, I need to give you more information for you to make decisions. So I need to make sure that I speak to you and how you need it for us to both have a better relationship.
Wow. Tremendous. So we mentioned 40 under 40, and that's an award, a tremendously prestigious award. But I know that you've won some other awards. Can you just speak to that very quickly?
Yeah. Anything from when I was a kid till now, one of the best ones that I feel like, two of my most greatest examples are going to be the best winning community project. We did a blood drive when I was in high school, operated the whole thing, and got over 257 pints in a crisis moment for the American Red Cross. And then the second one was in college. One of my professors gave me the Latino Leadership Award, which was basically within the realm of Kennesaw State University, basically just being a leader in the community, but also for the university as a top Dean's List student.
Not surprised. Can you talk a little bit about your role as the Director of Operations and Business Portfolio Consultant for 8-Figure Firm? And what does Business Portfolio Consultant actually mean?
Yeah. So at 8-Figure Firm, we've founded by Louis Scott. And what we're going to be doing there with the portfolio is actually understanding how every single fundamental piece, so there's 3 pieces to our portfolio. We have our foundations, our intention, and our transformation piece. And so in that business portfolio, you're basically going to literally see a tangible portfolio where you understand your business on every aspect: marketing, operations, legal, and finance. So you're going to have a blueprint of what your business is, what it looks like, every single piece of streamlining possibility. And then you're able to look at the gaps, assess, but also optimize on any piece that you need to in order to continue to scale. So the business portfolio does that for you. It's a blueprint of your whole business. And then as a director of operations, that's where the fun comes in. And I call that fun in a good and a bad way, because some days, like any other job, they're very stressful. But to me, something I like to tell people is I don't have a job, I have a career. And my career is to make sure that I help run this business and make sure that everyone comes out with what they need. So everyone has unique, special qualities that we have. We have marketing individuals, we have assistants, we have consultants, we have finance, HR, all of those different roles. So we want to make sure that everyone is pulling their unique style and opportunity to come in the firm and make it better. But then in the operations, it's also the hard part, which is leadership. And that is every single day, making sure that you learn how to speak to someone, being self-aware, making sure that everything gets handled, our client satisfaction, making sure that our finances are in order, making sure that our HR and our people are taken care of. So that's just a little snippet. But if you are a director of operations or you're looking for a director of operations, there's 3 things that I look for, and that's ambition, drive, and discipline. If you have those 3 things, that's the formula for a great director of operations.
Well said. So your journey from receptionist to your current role at an 8-figure firm is actually, I find it incredibly inspiring. So, especially at such a young age. So how did you leverage your early roles to develop the skills necessary to lead a team like 8-figure firm and consulting with multi-million-dollar law firms? And I know some of them are, multi-8-figure firms.
Yeah. I think that is the formula that I mentioned, the ambition, the drive, and I'll add an extra piece there. I think that the hungry part of it as an individual, I was always someone that said, what else can I do? How can I get to the next level? How bad do I really want this? And as I continue to rise up as a leader, those opportunities definitely were very helpful to have people who believed in me, sometimes more than I believed in myself. Sometimes there was people who didn't believe at all. And like I say, part of leadership and in my role in my journey, I needed those failures and I needed those setbacks and those obstacles in order for me to push to want more and to do more. So going from being a receptionist and learning the ropes and really them and that person at that time believing in me and saying like, okay, what's next? And like, you do want it. So how can I get you more? And it was always education. It was always sitting down and listening. I mean, I've been in mediations, depositions, doing the litigation work myself. So like all these things that a lot of individuals either don't have the opportunity to, or they don't look or search for that. So I think if you want it, you can have it. You just have to do the work because it doesn't come knocking at the door.
That's right. That's right. So well said. So I know that you work tirelessly, and I know that because every time I reach out to you, it doesn't matter when I do, you're working, right? Last week you were at a pool party and you were talking to me, right? So what motivates you to work so hard to be successful? Because I know that's the drive.
Yeah, I think the drive comes twofold. Definitely my background, my upbringing was always about being the best and being into a role that like you want to be proud of that role. Like, who are you? And then of course you have all the labels that society gives you, but you have to use them because it's the true reality, which is I'm a female, I'm Latino, I'm originally from Colombia. So like all these things that when you come to a different country, and I migrated here when I was 8 years old, all those things become either obstacles or they become opportunities. And so it depends on how you look at them. And for me, part of my brand is called Limitless. And there's no limit that will ever get in my way to get whatever else I want. So from a very young age, I learned that. I continue to self-teach and like follow those principles for myself and say, what else do you have to do? Do you have to work harder? Do you have to study more? Do you have to just do more hours? Whatever it takes, how do I get into those rooms that I might have been told you can't be in those rooms? And interestingly enough, yesterday I posted something, the NBC, I believe, or some news outlet put out some statistics. And there's only in the executive C-suite roles, there's only one in the United States nationwide. There's only 1% that are Latinas in there. So wow. It was a very wow moment for me because I'm doing it and I don't look back and I don't look at statistics and I don't label the things, but looking at it and saying, wow, I'm part of that 1% nationwide that can say I hold a C-suite opportunity and I am going to make it better and give other people the opportunity to do so. That's tremendous.
Yeah, right. That's got to be a wonderful feeling. So, and congratulations. So, I'm going to deviate a little bit because you mentioned Limitless. So let's tell the audience what that is, what your brand is.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Limitless. So the word itself, very much telling the story, and it's basically making sure that there's less limitations to your everyday, making sure that anything that is limited, whether it's a society label, whether it's a medical condition, whether it's a crisis, trauma, anything that can or will set you back. How do you remove from that by having a mindset that can take you to the next level? And part of that is understanding and being self-aware as to how much do I want it, but what do I do to get there? And part of my story does come from failure and from trauma and from downfall. And back in the day, I did have my own moment where I was deep down in the hole. Like, some people don't like to talk about it. I'm very open about it because I am in psychology. And I had to get into that very dark place that I did not know how to come out of it and say, who am I? Like, I was this leader. I was this great like person. People were like, you know how to talk and you know how to do all these things. And they were just so shocked when I went into this very tiny square black hole that I call it. And thankfully, like, my mind was the thing that got me there, and my mind is what got me out of there. So that limitless comes from, I've been down to the bottom that people don't like to talk about, but I was able to crawl back out and be at a better stage of where I am now by being able to practice these concepts of don't let any single thing limit you. Have the ambition, have the drive, have the discipline to say, I want and need more in my life.
So I love it. And as I like to say, is you can't have darkness without light, right? And so that's the journey for you, right? And it as a metaphor. So is Limitless a brand, and you have a website, and is it a service that you're offering?
So Limitless right now is in its initial stages. It is a brand. It is a concept to help individuals. That's where the bridging of the business and the therapy concept is going to come in. The niche is executives in business settings who will need or want to actually have the concept of psychology and understanding of counseling to be able to say, I'm going to consult you not only in who you are and who you need to be to move your business forward, but I also know the business principles to get your business there as well. Because if you cannot be centered and you cannot have that calmness that you need to be a business owner, then it's a lot harder. You're going to have a harder time scaling your business, getting your business where you want it to be. So Limitless is going to bridge that gap of executives who need to have business principles, but they also need to have the psychology and the science behind it to get you to combine those worlds.
So is there a difference between an entrepreneur and an executive as it relates to this?
It does not. It does not. It's different stages. So all of that is in a spectrum, right? You get to be, if you're a business owner, you technically consider yourself established. I've opened a business. I have it running. I have done X, Y, and Z to get there. An entrepreneur can be anyone that's just starting to think about it, just having a new concept, coming into it, maybe already there. It's just how you look at it and what stage you're at in your journey. But anything from an individual who has the ambition and the drive and the discipline to do higher things than just a job, higher things than just opening a door to a business, that is anyone that I call executive, entrepreneur, a leader. Any of those individuals, they can all benefit from that type of limitless concept.
I love it. I think there's a tremendous opportunity out there for you, and congratulations for having the vision and the courage to move forward with it. So just tremendous. So let me get back to some of the other questions that I had for you today. So specific to the law industry. So what are the key challenges that lawyers are currently facing, and how should they be addressed?
I think I see two main themes going on right now in business. I do, like you mentioned, my portfolio is anywhere from somebody under $1 million to above $35 million. So anywhere in that range, it does not matter. And the theme continues to come up. And I know it might sound like a broken record, but the more you look into it and the more that you start seeing it, it appears often. And that is mindset. That's the first thing. A lot of individuals have imposter syndrome. A lot of individuals have doubt and insecurity and all the normal things that any single person has. The unfortunate or the opportunity that most individuals have, though, is that once you're in a setting where you started, your engine is going, their momentum is going in your business. And then all of a sudden, one day you wake up and you're like, do I want to be a lawyer? Do I want to be a business owner? And those questions start to kind of boil inside. That is where the mindset is the biggest thing, because we need to remind ourselves that we got to where we wanted to be at that moment because there was that drive and that ambition and that need to be something bigger. And people need to be reminded of that. So a big opportunity for a lot of my law firm owners, whether you work with us or not, is where is your mindset? How strong is your mindset to make sure you remind yourself that you do have a dream? How do you make it a reality? Because for everyone that I talk to, you create your own reality. Nobody can take that away from you. So what reality are you willing to create based on your ambition, your drive, and your discipline?
Love it. So that ties in so well. So can you share any specific examples of the innovative solutions that you've implemented in response to that?
Yeah, absolutely. So the mindset first, we talk about I do 3 rules. So I do an assessment first of where your law firm is actually at the moment so that we really analyze and put it down on paper. So just like you would with your mind or your business or anything, think of us as the architects. I need a blueprint and I need to know where to go. I don't need to do any of the work to a certain extent, but I need to be able to see it very visually in front of me. Where are the doors? Where are the windows? Where is every line? Where's my marketing? Where's my operations? Where's my legal? Where's my finances? So we assess and we figure out where your business stands. The secondary step is we do a gap analysis. So I figure out in every single bucket of your business, where are there gaps missing? Is it inefficiencies? Is it that software isn't optimized for you? Is it maybe that your finances just have, your P&L just has different categories and no bookkeeper or accountant or CPA has looked at this and said, oh, we need to just categorize it differently so that we know that your ratios are in order and your business is healthy. And then after that, it's an action plan. So we call it a POA, plan of action. What are we doing? Because without action and without implementation, something we say at 8-Figure Firm is the growth is tied to the speed of implementation. So however you implement and the plan of action that you have ready to go, that's how quickly you are going to see the growth in your business.
Love that. I'm going to remember that one. Growth is tied to the speed of implementation. Awesome. So, achieving an 8-figure revenue for a law firm is an incredible, remarkable milestone, right? So can you share some of the common challenges that they face on the journey outside of what you just said, on that journey from $1 million to 3 to 6 to 10, and some of the solutions that you've helped implement for that outside of what you've already discussed?
Yeah, absolutely. So depending on where your business stands, it's part of the analysis. When you're anywhere from 0 to 3 million, you're going to be looking for lead acquisition. And so you're going to want to be looking for the best vendors, the best marketing, the best sales. You're going to want to look for those people and those individuals to help you rise to get past that threshold that you have, which is that 0 to 3 million. That is your focus. When you go past beyond that and you're 4 million, 6 million, you're looking at people acquisition. So you're looking to start to figure out, where do I bring in that Kolbe? Where do I make sure I have the right leaders in place? Am I leveraging my technology? Am I leveraging my people? Because if I'm not being the greatest leader. I might be a good leader. I'm just probably not great, because I have to look at optimizing everything that I have. And then once you're past that and we're talking in your 8 to plus million, then you really are doing leadership acquisition. So you're looking at those leaders that are going to run those departments and take those law firms to the next level. So what leader do I have in front of my intake department to make sure that all my metrics are made? Who do I have as a leader in my marketing so that they're looking and talking to these vendors about all my digital, my normal grassrooted marketing, my social media, my any single aspect of that? Who is in charge of that to make sure that I can point out red flags, that I can create an action plan, and that I can actually fix those things so that my engine keeps running?
So that's a great segue into, can you share a story where this actually happened and what the result was? Yeah. You don't need to mention the law firm name.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm thinking I have like some really great ones where I'm very proud of. I tell my clients, I'm like, I'm so proud of you guys. Like, you guys are proud of me for doing things, but I'm proud of you guys. We've had different, I kind of have a couple of different ones, and I'm going to blend the stories because they're very much similar. It doesn't matter the practice area. The process works. The process works for any single law firm at any revenue value and at any practice, in any state. It does not matter. These people have gone, I've had a business, actually, one of my favorite stories. There's a law firm that had been around for years, ages. I'm talking past the 20-year mark in the business. And they came to us and they said, well, Val, like, I've been doing things this way and we've always done them this way. because that's what you traditionally hear. And that's what people, if you don't know any better, what do? You keep doing what you've been doing until why fix if it's not broken, right? But then they realize they're like, well, it's maybe not broken, but what can I do to make this better? Because I see everything else moving and we're kind of staying stagnant. So we looked at everything, we assessed, we did the gap analysis, we did some action plans, and they've actually gone from, they started below $1 million and now they've doubled their business in under 18 months. They've doubled their business. They have better production. They have less accounts receivables, and they're actually providing more structured services. And what I told them was, where is the goal? Because the goal is within the company. So we went into the company and we said, where have we not serviced our clients? We have these normal services. Let's look at what else do they need? What are their pain points? So we went in, we looked at the services, we bundled up different things, we recreated what normal services look like for this type of industry. And now they're booming because people are like, wait, you offer 3 or 4 different things that I had to go to different people for? So now their own clientele that they had, their gold, became even shinier because they were able to optimize on what they already had right there in front of them. And now the new clients coming in have the opportunity to say, one-stop shop. I can come here and I can get everything I need coming out of you guys.
Love it. Love it. We've actually done a similar concept specific to estate planning, where we're doing a reactivation campaign. So someone came in for one area of estate planning. They didn't realize you did three other things, and now we're reactivating. So similar concept. I love it. So what are the essential metrics law firms should track to ensure that they're on the path to significant growth?
Oh, that's a great question. Giving all the secrets out. No, they're not secrets. They're just a process that works. And I think the top 4 metrics that I would go with, most of the businesses listening to us, I'll give you some of the somewhere in the middle, right? They're always important. And I say this, there's metrics where they're important when you're in the focal point of where your business is. So if you're 0 to 3 million, there's some metrics that really need to be honed in and you have to look at them and you can't move away from them. Then when you are in the higher spectrum, let's call it the 8 million and a plus, you have new metrics, but you have to maintain the metrics that got you there. So people forget sometimes to go back to the basics and say, what got us here? How do I make sure that that's being maintained? And I don't forget about it. Just because I see big numbers does not mean that it's being maintained to the best. So what I say by that is looking at your total leads. That's going to tell us what your brand awareness looks like. We're going to look at your qualified leads. What does your messaging look like? We're going to look at your scheduled leads and or your sales. And that's going to tell me what your sales team is doing, what their efforts look like. So if I'm looking at those things, I'm able to analyze the storyline of my metrics and figure out how will I scale from this? Which team do I need to focus on when I'm first starting out? When I'm moving further along the line, some of the metrics that I need to look at is my people. I need to look at how productive are my people? How many Google reviews am I getting based on the people that I need them from? Because my clients need to know the stories that I've done before. If people don't know what you've done, do they know how great you can be for them? And then the bigger part of the people part is if I have attorneys that are producing or legal assistants, billing hours, it all depends on the type of industry you're in. How much are they producing? How many demands do we have out? How many settlements are we bringing in? Because my production, that's part of the development of those individuals is I got to check those metrics to make sure that we have all of that coming in, because guess what? That comes right back into the business. Do you want to raise? What did we do with those metrics? Do you want to move up in your role? What did we do with those metrics? All the metrics should be connecting dots of data that give you a picture for the next level where you're going.
Tremendous advice. Great answer. So, similar type of question, but it's more about leadership qualities. So what are the most impactful leadership qualities that law firm owners should develop to drive the success?
Lots of them, and I want to pick one specifically that I think a lot of law firm owners would gain a lot from, and that is servant leadership. We're always ready to ask, and I want, and I need, and I need to have, and it's me. But when was the last time we said, you? What can I do for you should be the question. Because again, one thing that I tell people is there's 5 things you can be. You can be bad. You can be good. You can be great. You can be excellent or you can be elite. And if you want to be an elite leader, then what are you doing to leverage your people? Because you should not be doing everything in a business. You should be leveraging your leaders to help you get there. And that's how you become the best leader for your organization, for the community, for the industry. That's how you become a great leader. Be a servant leader.
As one of the things I like to say to my team is, I am here to help you be more successful at your job. So, yep, great advice. So I'd like to pivot a little bit to law firm marketing. I'd be remiss if I didn't. Right? So why is it important to look at your marketing agency as your partner in the collaboration of the success?
Marketing agency is definitely one of your most important, if not the most important, connection and pivotal point that you have in your business. Because if people don't know who you are, and they don't know what your message is, and they don't understand what you represent, how will they find you? How will they come to you? How will they know that you even exist? And there's a difference in all kinds of different concepts of marketing and branding and digital and traditional. There's all these concepts, but you don't need to know them all, because the point of having an agency is for them to be the experts at that. And there's 2 rules that I say when you're scaling. Don't do anything that is not scalable, meaning if you cannot if you can't be in one place in 20 times, which you know you can't, that's not scalable. So that we're not going to do anything that can't be that way. And the second thing you want to look at is let the experts be the experts. There is a reason that they're in this industry. Obviously, fact check, do what you need to do your research. That is on you. But once you find someone that you really find to be an expert, let them be the expert, because you are trying to get your business to move forward, and you can't do it all. You don't know it all, but there's experts out there that you need to combine your journey with, such as a marketing agency, to say, look, we've done this so many times. We've taken these businesses from this to this. We've made sure we explain, educate, and make sure that what do we do at the end of the day with a marketing agency? We get them to market our services, our style, and our success and our wins, so that you can actually keep doing that without even thinking about it.
So with that being said, we know that at least on the digital side, and I'm sure with just traditional agencies, the same thing. There's good and bad with everything. There's good attorneys, bad attorneys, good doctors, bad doctors. Right? So I know that there's a lot of what I like to refer to as charlatans in the digital marketing space. Somebody graduates college, they've got a degree in marketing, which by the time they graduate, the information they've learned is already 2 to 3 years antiquated, but they're working out of their mom's basement, and now they're doing SEO and PPC and social media, and they're running a business. So we see that all the time. What piece of advice, maybe 3 to 5 different pieces of advice you can give to law firms to differentiate between the good and the bad?
3 pieces that I would give anyone working with a current agency and looking for an agency. I think you need to do the 3 method, which is you need to assess what is their reputation, their skill set, their expertise. Like you mentioned, you learned something in school, and not everything is going to stick. And you shouldn't probably be good at everything anyway. And that's why an agency has an ecosystem of specialty in PPC, SEO, social media. Every agency that you go to, if you talk to someone and they say, we do it all, and only one person does it, I would probably be like, what are we doing here, right? But if you go to an agency that we know of and is reputable, and you've researched it, then you can see that they will tell you, I have a team of PPC experts. I have a team of social media experts. I have a team of SEO experts, because all of them have decided that being a specialist versus a generalist is what's going to be the game-changing piece. So look for experts and stay with experts. The second piece is, when you're looking for an agency, make sure that that is a new bonding relationship that you're going to build. So look for the personality traits of the firm, of the case manager that you're working with the owner, with the salesperson. Like, what does that relationship look like? Because we're about to go into this for a long journey together. So if you are a client that needs all the reports, all the time, all the data, does that agency give you that? Or backwards, if the agency doesn't believe reporting is so important, or they're like, we'll see you when we see you, strategy every so often, or Or like, maybe we just sent you this report we just pulled from whatever, and they don't explain it to you. If that is not what you need, that is not the agency you want to make a bond with. So look for what you need and how you maneuver by listening to the experts, but make sure that they're doing a better job than you were to begin with. And then the last piece of advice is look for a vendor that has a track record. Have they done this in this field? I think one of the biggest things I've found is there's a lot of agencies out there that'll say, we market. And then I'll ask the question, how many law firms have you done this for? And I think that's the biggest differentiator, which is if you have not done this for a law firm, it doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means that you are not a specialist. You are a generalist. And I want a specialist for my law firm to get the results that I need for a law firm. I want you to have a conversation with me where you understand what a paralegal is, where you understand what a consult is, where you understand the most basic to the most intricate, because you understand what law firms do.
It's funny. I as you know, I do coaching and mentoring to other agencies as well. And one of them came to me and said they were considering law. And I'm like, that's great. I can absolutely coach you. I have no problem. There are plenty of law firms out there. So, what are the 7 words that every lawyer cannot say in marketing? Do you know what those are? And there's crickets. Now, I'm not asking you. I asked that. Okay.
I know. And I'm like, I think you're the expert. You have to tell me.
I know. Okay. So, and more importantly, my content team knows, right? So that's the more important that I know. It's that my content team knows. So, the other thing I see is law firms going after what we call shiny object syndrome. I just did a newsletter about this, and let's just talk about the dangers of shiny object syndrome.
Yeah, there's definitely some dangers with that. I did talk earlier about our quick starts, which are great entrepreneurs and business-like individuals, but just as a quick start is someone that has a lot of ideas and wants different things all the time, it is the equivalent to having the shiny stock. Like when you literally see something shiny and you're like, I want that in this, in that. And then they get into I need a quick validation or gratification of what's happening. And I think that's the danger zone that you get into as a law firm owner, is when you think that putting in 2 seconds of effort or 2 seconds of a strategy is going to bring back the revenue or the ROI or the intention that you need within one day. And then you want one thing today and another thing tomorrow. And then you're like a chef in the kitchen trying to cook one dish. And then you decided you wanted pasta, pizza, burger, tacos, and fries all in one dish. And you're like, does that even make sense? Probably not. So that's what I call the danger zone, is you want too many things too fast all at once, but you truly don't even know what you want.
That's right. And today's shiny object is AI, right? AI for lawyers. Everybody needs to slow down. And we just actually, Google just came out and they're penalizing ignoring any AI that's not Google generated AI. So that's SEO reference. So let's talk a little bit about accountability and the power of accountability for both what you do for your attorneys and for your attorneys and their team, because I know how I handle it.
Yeah. So accountability, I think it's probably should be somebody's middle name at this point. If you're in a law firm, it literally needs to be the next thing you say at all times. If you are not holding your team accountable, let's go back to the basics. What is accountability? Accountability is having the strength of the self-awareness to know that you have to check in, that you have to develop, that you have to hold someone to their word, to their actions, and to their results. That is what you're doing when you're holding someone accountable. If I am not willing as a leader to hold my team accountable, that speaks to who I am as a leader. I am not holding myself accountable. To give you an analogy that goes with my law firms and that I explain a lot is, if I don't hold myself accountable to go to the gym and get the results that I want for the body that I want, no one is going to come and do it. No one's going to check up and say, did you go to the gym 3 times today? Or what happened? Like, that body's looking not what you were talking about. It's the same thing that happens in law firms. If I'm not able to hold my sales team accountable, then my sales drop. If I'm not able to hold my marketing team accountable to strategizing and coming up with new ways and finding the right messaging, then no one's going to come to us. If I don't hold my lawyers to demands and to settlements and to billing hours, then where is the money coming from? So holding my team accountable for their actions, their words, and their results, it's something extremely important, because that is the only way that I hold myself accountable as a leader towards them, but they hold me accountable to make sure the business is moving forward.
Excellent answer. Wow. I could see that degree right there.
Coming out.
Exactly. So just some quick advice on attorneys wanting to aggressively grow their firm. So do you have any additional nuggets of wisdom or insight to an attorney that might be stuck at, I meet these attorneys all the time. They're at $300,000-400,000, maybe $500,000 in fee income, and they're stuck. So any nuggets for them?
Yeah, two things. One's hard and one's easy. The hard one is asking yourself, do you want it enough? If you don't want it, don't do it. Because if you don't want it bad enough, you will find every excuse, every obstacle, everything to get in your way to get to the next level. So you have to want it bad enough. And then the second piece is, you don't have to do it alone. There's experts that are out there. Go network, go find all the tools. I always say that I went from a survival kit to a toolkit. When you are below $1 million, you are a survival kit. You're just trying to make it. You're just trying to market yourself. You're just trying to do your own intake. You're just trying and trying and trying. And that's what it takes. But what have you learned from that survival to make it a tool? Hey, I don't know everything about marketing. What marketing agencies do I need to talk to so they can move me forward? Hey, I don't have the best. I can't convert every single sale. I have to work the product or work the case. Let me go find salespeople that know how to sell. So turn that survival kit that you have below under $1 million that you've had to do because you wanted this dream, and create a new reality by creating a toolkit where you find all of the different people that are going to get you there. You can't do it alone. Stop thinking that you can, but know that you will make it happen.
That's so well said. And one of the things I see with attorneys is they're so smart, right? Because it's hard to get through law school and pass the bar. They're smart. And that's one of the traps they fall into, is that they can do it everything by themselves. So great answer. So who is the ideal customer or target law firm for 8-figure firm?
Our ideal individual business owner for us is going to be, I know it sounds like a broken record, and I've said this so many times, but this is true to the core of who I am, who the business is, and we live it and breathe it. We need ambitious law firm owners, driven, ambitious owners, and disciplined business owners. Why? Because if you don't have that formula, you will find any excuse, any obstacle. You will get in your own way. You will have imposter syndrome. You will continue to make another excuse as to why you're going to wait another year to see your business move forward, because you are thinking short term and you're not thinking long term. It's just like anything else in life. In order for you to get through law school, you didn't go to one class. You went to almost more than 5 years of schooling to make sure you got that degree and you got there. Just like you worked your first case and then you ended up having 200, same principle goes. You had to have the ambition, the drive, and the discipline. And those are the people that we want at 8-figure firm. We want to get your reality to be 8 figures and above. But you have to meet us halfway by saying, I'm here to do what it takes. And there's no obstacle. There's no limit. And we are ready to go.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So we're going to transition now to what we call the lightning round. This is the know, like, and trust. This is where we're going to have some fun. This is where people get to, we all like to do business with people we know, like, and trust. So just some quick questions. I'm going to fire off 10 questions just to answer them as what it comes to your mind. Okay. So what never fails to make you laugh?
Kids movie.
What is the best compliment you ever got?
Your brain is tremendous.
What person you'd trade places with for a day?
My grandmother.
Okay. Guilty pleasure?
Chocolate, dark chocolate.
Biggest risk you ever took?
Solo traveling to 5 different cities in Spain 2 years ago.
Wow. Worst piece of advice you ever got?
You're not ready for it.
What do you wish you were better at dealing with?
Myself.
Okay. What is the one thing that you would like to change about yourself?
Being more graceful towards my journey, not being so hard on making sure that I have all the dreams. It's just one at a time. Can't do all 5 dreams at one time.
What are you most passionate about?
My career.
And tell us something that most people don't know about you.
I am some, but not most. I worked in a morgue when I was in college as a secondary job. I worked in law firms, and I went and worked in a morgue. And it combines with I'm a Halloween baby. So people are like, how in the world? But it totally makes sense too.
Wow. Wild. It's wild. So let's tell the audience how they can reach you.
So there's various ways. Definitely our website, 8figurefirm.com, is how you can look for our services. My personal website is my name, valeriatorres.io. And then we will make sure to give you all of the Instagrams and LinkedIn's. But of course, my name, LinkedIn, feel free to reach out, ask a question. I'm free and open for any type of conversation. And then Instagram, just follow my life. It's business, it's career, and it's travel, because I'm always somewhere in a plane going to another country or city.
Great. Well, that's a wrap for today. Valeria, thank you so much for being our guest. This has been a tremendous interview. I really appreciate your time today. And thanks to our sponsor, Law Firm Marketing Pros, where we get law firms more leads, more clients, and more profits.
Thanks for listening to another fabulous episode of Behind the Bench. I hope you take action on some insight and tips you learned today. If you like what you heard, please like, subscribe, and share.